If I asked you what was more valuable, your time or your money, what would you say? Most people say time, but then if you study their actions, you understand unconsciously they think money is more valuable than time because you can watch them waste hours of time for a little bit of money. And so in this video, I really want to break down, I went pretty in depth on the things that I've found that really helped me the most. So I want to try to trimline it into a video so that you can take notes and gain an understanding. And maybe some of this you're aware of, maybe some of this you aren't. So first off, I want to start off by saying no one owns information. So none of the stuff I've created, I've just found it through studying. And it's helped me tremendously, and you can do the exact same thing. So the first thing I want to do is talk about, if you don't want to spend a bunch of time and energy, you want one thing you can do to change your life. If you can adopt this habit right here, you will have a way better life than you are having right now. If you can make the habit of spending less than you earn. In the beginning, it won't seem like a big deal, but over time, as you start getting a year or two or three down the road, you're going to start having money. It's not going to be a lot, but you're going to have a lot of anxiety and fear float away from you about money. So with that being said, I really want to dive into all the other things that I think are extremely valuable if you're willing to put the effort in. So the core differences to me, and I know this sounds odd, but money's renewable. We can spend it, we can lose it, we can earn more. Time is not. Once today's gone, I can't get it back. Right? And I really want you to stop and think about that long and hard and understand what I'm really saying. Right? We've been programmed. We have a mindset. It is set on whatever your mindset is set on. Are you willing to challenge those beliefs and look at the way you're living your life and try to understand a different way to do that? Right? Most of us are employees, and we've been sold this idea that we can spend some of our time to earn money, and then we can have a whole bunch of time to sit around and not do anything other than the things that we want to do until we need to go back to work again. And as you start to gain an understanding, you really see the trap in this, right? Because when you want to start to change and create something of value, don't get paid for it in the beginning. And it can be extremely difficult when your mindset is every hour you put into something you should get paid for. So getting rid of instant gratification is a very powerful principle if you can really understand what that means. I can create something through my creativity, but I'm not going to get paid in the beginning. But once I create that asset, I can get paid from here until I die and beyond. My family can keep generating income off of that asset long after I'm gone. And yeah, I had to put a lot of time and energy in the beginning, but then once it's done, you still have that asset. You never have to put another minute into that thing, and it continuously generates income for you. So I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of an understanding. So the next thing really is, most of us are working on a job that we don't like. And in the beginning, we want to change. We want to become an entrepreneur, or we want to get into real estate, or we want to learn how to invest on the side, a side hustle, right? One thing I found extremely valuable for myself to really buy back some of my time so I could do those side hustle things is outsourcing the things that I can at home. Lawn service, cleaning people that clean your house, people that wash your cars. Like, I understand that sounds weird in the beginning, but to break through that first barrier, we have to find some time where we can start to really study and learn other avenues, right? And most people, when they start a side hustle, they don't have enough time to really understand the side hustle. And then they invest money that they used their time, which is unlimited, their time, which is limited, right? We only have a certain amount of time that we're going to be on this earth, for something that we can make more of. And so that's the big trap, is the fact that when you're trying to create something else and you want to take an hour or 3 hours, right? You want to make an investment, but it needs to be to the best of your ability. You need to really understand the opportunity. In the beginning, if you're getting your information on mainstream, by the time you find out about an opportunity, there's no real growth in that opportunity. Usually by the time we hear about it, it's already, you'll make some money, but you're not going to get 1,000x, 100x, right? You have to find these opportunities in their infancy. And you can only do that by taking time and really studying and building relationships with people. So the next thing, how successful people flip the script, right? They don't think so much about the cost. They're more fixated on the time that they can recoup, right? If I can get someone to cut my lawn every week for $50, and that's an hour and a half of my time that I can use on something that will eventually generate money for me, right? So I'm thinking long term. I'm not thinking short term, and I'm not thinking just about the money. I'm thinking about time that I'm going to buy back for myself to work on something that I really want to be working on. So, and I know in the beginning, when you're talking about spending $50 a week on something and you don't have extra money, right? That's where most people stop. Most people will spend 8 hours working on a car to save $1,000, right? That's their mindset. Instead of spending the $1,000 and having that 8 hours of time to themselves to generate something or work on something that can generate more income. So I really want you guys to think about that, and reflect on that. Are you a penny pitcher? Do you let money control you? Do you think everything's expensive, right? What you earn is a direct reflection of the service that you provide. And I know that might hurt some people's feelings. It hurt mine in the beginning when I finally had to understand that. The service that I provide, that's all I can make. So if I'm not providing a service that helps many people, I'm just not going to make that much money. That's the bottom line. So successful people are always asking themselves questions. And some of these key questions that I wrote down, I want you to really ask yourself and write them down and think about them, right? Everything they're looking at, they ask, is this worth my time? If I'm working on something that's going to generate me $10,000 and somebody calls me with $1,000 opportunity, for me personally, it's not worth my time to take my eye off of the $10,000 opportunity and waste time on the $1,000 opportunity. And I know that might sound weird, but when you really grasp this concept, you really start to understand we can't keep getting pulled in all these different directions. We have to stay focused on one thing at a time. Successful people have multiple sources of income, but they didn't start with multiple sources. They started with the one thing that they worked on for an extended period of time, and they were willing to be terrible at it until they got good at it. And they weren't letting their mind get dragged all around for a $50 opportunity when they're working on a $1,000 opportunity, right? Not all money's good money. And in the beginning, you need to just say, I'm not interested in that right now. I'm working on this thing. I'm going to keep focused on that, right? So that really is just long-term versus short-term, right? I'm not saying a $1,000 opportunity isn't worth looking at and pondering on and thinking about, but if you're serious and you understand a little bit of this, you really gain an understanding that it's not worth your time to take time off of what you're working on for this other opportunity, especially if it's not in alignment with what you are wanting your life to be, right? So just something to think about. A lot of successful people, I always hear them saying the real ROI isn't money, it's time and freedom. And for a long time, I didn't really understand what they were saying. That's because my mindset was, I go to work for X amount of hours, and that's what I get paid. I never fathomed that I'm going to work on something that I'm not getting paid for, that eventually is going to double my income, triple my income, right? And buy back some time that I can spend with my family or creating the next thing that I'm trying to create. So I hope that kind of helps you grasp an understanding of the difference. 3 key mind shifts that I think are extremely valuable. And I know this one isn't fun, but spending to investing, right? I really had to, when I was going to spend money, ask myself, is this a want or a need? I was stuck in just buying things, Every week I get paid, I can go buy things, and then next week I get paid again, right? And it just keeps you at this flat line. So when you start to just not spend your money on some of the things that you don't need, and that money stays in your bank account, the next week you can compound that. Pretty soon you have some money, right? And you can really start to look at different opportunities that can really, really change your life dramatically. But we have to get over this first hump. We have to understand there is a money time trap, and that most of us are programmed in having a job. There's nothing wrong with having a job. But if you really want to 10x your life or become the best version of yourself, where you can bless and help and really make other people's lives better, you need some money. So like focusing on high impact activities instead of low value things, right? Like I don't want to just buy these trinkets to buy these trinkets because they lose their luster after about a week, right? So can I have the willpower to just not buy those things for 6 months so I can get some money in savings, so I can buy someone's course that will 10x my income or save me a decade of time of trial and error, right? Thinking long term. Most of us think short term, and it's because there's a cost attached to it. We can't really think long term because money is not unlimited for us, right? We have money. We don't have much money to be able to think like that. But if you can understand, it's just a thought. You can think long term if you put the instant gratification to the side and quit operating like that. I promise you, your life will change. And then I know, reflecting, you will uncover so many things and so many beliefs and things that aren't true by reflecting, and your mind just changes. You flip the switch. Now you start to understand some of these principles and how they work and what you really need to do to get to the next level. So, the big one is, how much of my life have I spent earning money that didn't fulfill me? How long have you been in a job you don't love or you don't like or that doesn't fulfill you, right? I'm 49. I might only have 40 summers left. Like when I started thinking about life like that, instead of thinking that I'm going to be here for 900 years and not really paying attention to that I'm really not going to be here that long, right? I need to get my butt in gear and really start becoming aware about time. And then where am I wasting my time, right? Am I wasting my time on things that don't matter? Am I scrolling on social media? Am I watching Netflix? Not that there's anything wrong with doing some of that, but I spend a lot of time on Netflix, on YouTube. But I have 3 notepads and I'm constantly devouring information that is helping me have a better understanding of how to get out of the money time trap. I don't just watch a video and think that I'm going to remember any of that. It doesn't work like that. You have to use repetition over and over and over and over and over and over and over again to be able to change any pattern. So money is a tool to really create more freedom, right? In the long scheme of things, when you have extra money, you can bless people. When you have extra money, you can donate to causes that fulfill you. When you have extra money, you just have a sense of ease to you, right? Now that I have money, it's a way different life. The little things don't bug me. I do not pay attention to all of these distractions around me because I'm hyper-focused on something long-term. And on the way to that long-term thing, I'm constantly tweaking and reevaluating and reflecting. And sometimes you got to take a detour, right? But the most important thing is I'm stretching and growing and becoming a better person. I hope, and in the beginning, that doesn't make sense. I get it, right? You're wanting an extra $1,000 tomorrow so that you think that's going to cure something. I promise you, it's probably not going to cure anything if you haven't changed any habits, because you're just going to spend that money. Then you're back in the same situation you're in. You see the pattern. Money and time aren't enemies. They're tools that we can use to enhance our life tremendously. We can change our whole, not only our lives, our children's and our family's lives, our neighbors' lives. We can generate something that pays us while we sleep so much that we can't even spend it while we're awake, right? I mean, I know that sounds cute, but it's true. And I don't want you to adopt the habit that you want to generate so much money that you can buy whatever you want, because to me that's just gluttonous. That's not what it's for. I believe we should generate as much income as we can to circulate in the universe. Too many people hoarding their money. There's a consciousness that is everywhere that is in lack and limitation. That consciousness is in the ether. We need to change our consciousness, which starts with changing your mindset, which will start with changing your thoughts, which will change the feeling, which will change your actions, which will change your bank account, I promise you. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. If you know anyone who's struggling, please share this video with them. Find us on Skool, SKOOL. We have a free 30-day masterclass. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Bye.